The original idea behind EQUUS was to get a bunch of young people all in the same room at the same time working on this problem of developing quantum technologies to kind of change the future.
There was a lot of theoretical work. There was a range of senior leaders that were individually very, very successful, and through the Centre of Excellence, it enabled a deep state of collaboration, building up a community of practice, a very powerful form of translation of its research.
Being agnostic to the different platforms is important, and then having experts in each of the different platforms solve problems in those specific systems is important.
It enabled our group to connect with the rest of Australia and connect in a way which enabled the science on a greater scale and enabled an environment for students which they didn't have before, and postdocs and early career researchers, which was a large network of possibility of collaborating with the best in Australia on a range of really great projects.
And that has set Australia up as a country that's really at the forefront of the second quantum revolution.
Curiosity-driven research is beautiful, and we all want to know how nature functions around us, but being able to use it for the betterment of our society is incredibly important.
When you've got a sustained period of activity for 14 years, you are able to do deeply interdisciplinary and deeply focused long-term research effort.
I also think that one of the really magnificent things about EQUUS is the breadth of research that's happening in it.
It's really exciting at the moment with quantum research, because we're just on the brinks of getting a lot of use case applications out of quantum technology, like particularly quantum sensors.
We have got such good control over single quantum systems and multi-quantum systems that we can actually specifically design new technology to exploit quantum effects to do things that we couldn't do previously.
What is exciting is that you can use those systems, for example, for constructing quantum machines, and this was impossible before.
The aim of EQUUS was to translate all the tremendous work that Australians have done in quantum technologies out of the lab and into the community to have a real impact. That requires more than just the commercial endeavours that EQUUS has been able to lead. It requires building up a workforce, training the people to have the skills just beyond what you need in the lab, but to succeed to translate that research, to build an ecosystem which is more than just the research, but a sustainable community of people that can go through and carry this technology from the design and implementation stage right through to that, the commercial opportunities and having an impact on people's lives.
We have had probably more than 70 projects. We have had a number of very successful startups, beautiful examples of how translation should be done. That was all due to the fact that we found a system in which we could encourage people to actually think about commercialization or translation and what is needed from going from our labs, which do basic research, to finding something that could be of interest for commercial product and then showing how it can be done.
Students are now coming through at every point going, well as my research being fundamentally important for quantum mechanics or for this particular type of quantum technologies, what are the applications more broadly and opportunities for me to look at startups or engaging with industry?
If you want a field to last, you've got to have this good turnaround of people bringing in new ideas and taking it to the next step. So I think that's just very important for the longevity of the field itself.
We see ideas coming out that if we'd only listened to that very narrow subset of voices, we would have missed those opportunities.
Getting people from diverse backgrounds and mindsets and life experiences into research is not just a good thing to do for its own sake. When you've only got a lot of very similar minds in the room, they may be really, really bright minds, but they're all going to be tackling a problem in a sort of similar fashion based on their life experience and the way that their brain works. And bringing in some different perspectives can often be the thing that busts a problem open.
EQUS has really led in implementation for gender equality, particularly in the STEM disciplines.
That wasn't by accident. We've been very targeted in our approach in wanting to try and increase the attractiveness of quantum physics to women and to help retain them and keep them within the ecosystem. One of the great legacies of EQUS is that those lessons learned, we're going to be able to pass on to the new COEs so that they can learn from our mistakes and also help work towards keeping women in STEM. We were able to create a new position, which was a Deborah Fellowship. And so we were able to advertise to women-only applicants. We got the most incredible, wonderful, great quality postdocs from all around the world applying.
It gave me a lot of exposure and access to resources that has actually made a difference in my career going forward.
I would like to see that Deborah scheme continue in other centres.
In research, we want to make sure that we're tackling problems that are actually important to people.
EQUS is really on point in terms of its outreach programs. I think it's really innovative and creative in its outreach.
We are not doing the research to just do the research. We want to change the world. We want to have impact on the people, on Australia, for Australia.
They can bring the fact that quantum science is exciting to communities that probably never met a scientist before. I can see the way that the outreach has actually transformed the way that our young ambassadors for quantum science have changed themselves and the way that they have a view on things.
One of the biggest benefits for the people that actually get involved in doing outreach is they have to practice connecting with an audience.
I was part of road trip. Oh, that was a really great, life-changing experience. Going to Outback, Australia and seeing like all those kids and teaching them in first hand, and that actually gives you an idea of like what was the first place why you got into science, because everyone is so interested, and then just giving them flavor of like what we actually do in like dark room, just doing research or pointing lasers at things. Why do we all those things, or why we were interested in the first place when we were kids.
Doing something like the road trip or public engagement in general is obviously great from the perspective of helping to spread the word about quantum and inspire the next generation of scientists, but it also has value for the people doing the work, doing the public engagement work themselves.
The students and early career researchers all interact with one another constantly throughout the year. There's numerous occasions. It's where new ideas can come up scientifically, but it's also where they can learn the craft.
Being a good scientist is not just about doing good science. There's a lot of other things that come with it.
They've really put a focus on actually building up the next generation of scientists.
EQUS, I think, has been a real beacon internationally of how to do things right and encouraging early career researchers in particular to get engaged and transform the subject. Those early career researchers, the PhD students, the postdocs, have been in an environment where they've been mentored and encouraged to be imaginative and to be bold in this way. And it's empowered them. So the net result of 14 years of that is that Australia has actually produced people of extraordinary imagination.
Before EQUS, there really wasn't that concept or that thought that we should have a large, multiple components all interacting together in industry, in government, in universities, including the community. That idea that there can be a healthy ecosystem, I think is one of the legacies from EQUS.
I'd love to see that the momentum continues. We've got great momentum in Australia at the moment.
The legacy of EQUS is really the change in the environment that we've been able to enact in Australia. When EQUS started, even back in 2011, quantum mechanics was something that was confined to the laboratory. It wasn't something that people were thinking about building industries out of.
It's actually a gift that keeps on giving. Excellent outcomes in the future as well. It's really accelerated great technologies for important uses across a wide range of sectors.
The legacy in the way we do science is there, which is noted in all the portfolios and the STEM outreach that's been done. Then there's a legacy of the science itself. Now the science itself is world class.
That's going to be the legacy of EQUS, that we can address really tough science problems together using our joint understandings and our joint facilities.
We've got enough forward initiatives coming out of the Centres of Excellence that we should be able to keep the momentum so that we're a serious player on the world stage.
It's a type of field that's so advanced and frontier. You need that level of investment and long-term effort and the talent.
Really, our long-term legacy will be the people who've come through, the skills they've learned, the way they've learnt to put communities together, and the way they've learnt to cause cultural change in the organisations they're in. So I could not be prouder of them as scientists and as engineers, but I also could not be prouder of them as really wonderful colleagues who are outward focused, inclusive, really looking to make a change in how we do science and engineering.
The people is the greatest legacy.
The most enjoyable part of EQUS for me is the people that I've met along the way.
I'd really like to thank everyone who's been involved in EQUS. I'm glad to have been involved, and I look forward to seeing what they'll all do next. The world is quantum.
The world is quantum.
The world is quantum.
The world is quantum. The world is quantum.